Bon allez, on est reparti. Vichama. Let's go. Il fallait speak mérité. Ouais, c'est vrai. C'est vrai.
Yep, it's all here. When do we
Merci
start?
beaucoup, chat. Merci beaucoup.
I've made all the necessary
5
adjustments, so we're good to go. As agreed, I'll help you find Kachina's ancient name, and then you return the favor.
Je peux vous poser une question?
Go ahead.
Est-ce que vous recherchez l'antique nom de votre ami pour la même raison que nous?
Yes. After Malco fell, I scoured the battlefield to see what happened. It turned out he wasn't bested by some impossibly powerful foe. He was dragged to his grave by the sheer number of enemies. If I had been there, I would have been able to sense the danger. I could have warned them not to advance. I've always blamed myself for what happened. But when you told me about Kachina, I realized there's a chance Malco might also be alive, fighting for survival in the Night Kingdom.
Ouais, au bout de 5 ans, je suis pas sûre.
That
Hein.
happened several years ago, right?
C'est long, 5 ans.
Archon said all life within the Night Kingdom eventually becomes one with the Sea of Souls.
There might not be much hope, but I still have to try. Malco and I promised each other, even if we never managed to root out the Abyss for good, we would fight together until the end. All right, let's get to it. I'll start searching for the conceptualized version of Kachina's ancient name. If you see any fragments scattered around the area, please collect them.
J'ai rien compris par contre à son truc, hein, mais vas-y. Pourquoi pas, ouais. T'as vu comme elle est belle, la gourde rose? Elle brille. Elle est magnifique.
Make sure you prepare
Comme le
yourselves
cristal.
for battle. As I said, the stone will link the mortal realm to the Night Kingdom. The Abyss will likely emerge in response.
D'accord. C'est marrant parce qu'il est complètement délu, mais alors complètement alors que tous les autres de sa tribu, ils sont plutôt comme Kinish à être matter of fact. Ah, il y a un timer, my bad. Il y a un timer. Fort bien.
Time to go.
Ok, jusque là tout va bien. On ramasse les fragments. Mais il va y avoir d'autres trucs qui vont en sortir, j'imagine. Logique. Ça pouvait pas être simple.
Stabilize.
Pour le coup,
Into the wind.
j'ai mis où mes bulles, elles sont là-bas.
Silence!
Silence. Ok. C'est bon, je peux récupérer. Ah bah non, il y en a d'autres. Évidemment, il y en a d'autres.
One with nature.
Ça en fait des choses.
Adorn my night.
Oui, allô?
How much longer, Vichama?
Not long! We're getting close!
D'accord. Donc là, c'est celui de Kachina, ouais, j'imagine. Il en manque genre un ou deux. Ouais. Ouais, Raiden, comment il va? Ok, c'est bon, là. Maintenant, il faut l'autre. Ah. C'est quoi ça?
Quick, take it!
Ok. C'est Kachina, ça, du coup, j'imagine?
I found Kachina's ancient name. Hang in there, Malco. Just a little longer.
Something's not right. The power of the Abyss is getting stronger.
Ah, le
The Abyss
Délulu
is corroding
Gaming,
his
ouais.
body. Vichama, you can't keep going, you'll die.
I should have died 5 years ago. I just need a little more time. Please, I'm almost there.
Bah, ouais, ok.
Thank you.
Quoi? Ok. Et on fait vraiment un combat à la Voldemort, là?
The power of the Abyss is strong.
Je sais pas ce qu'on fait, mais on le fait. Hein. Bichette, il est mort, ton pote. Tu le sais, en plus.
This power.
Hanging in there?
On a plus de temps.
Malco. No, why can't I find him?
Parce qu'il est mort, Bichette, ça fait 5 ans.
We can't wait any
Il faut
longer.
passer à autre chose.
Pull him away from the stone, Mualani.
I already tried, but the power of the abyss has him in a chokehold. It's like he's tied to the stone with an invisible rope.
In that case, we have no choice. I'm sorry, Seed Molly.
Ah, elle va détruire la pierre. Gros coup de fusil dedans. Bam!
Wait!
En vrai, elle a pas tort. Sinon, il mourrait à l'autre.
Ouch! What happened just now? It looked like the spirit speaker's stone was...
The stone's power was spiraling out of control. The only way to stop it was to destroy it. You were all caught in the shockwave of the explosion. You might feel dizzy for a while, but that's normal.
Give us a heads up next time, will you? You're lucky we managed to dodge it in time.
I thought I said to get back.
Yeah, barely a second before you made it go poof. Not everyone has your reflexes, Chaska. We were this close to getting dragged into the explosion.
Okay, I'll be more careful next time.
At least Kachina's ancient name is still in one piece. Wait, where's Vichama? Vichama!
Vichama!
I couldn't find Malco's ancient name. It must be completely gone by now. Once your ancient name disappears, there's no coming back. From the very beginning, I knew there was a slim chance, but still. And
Au moins, maintenant,
now,
il est fixé.
it's too late to save him. From the minute he left that day, it was already too late.
Vichama.
I'm sure he's heard enough condolences over the years. Let's just give him some space.
Huh? What's that in your hands, Vichama? It looks like something's glowing.
Ah! Alors
This
peut-être...
is...
Hey, Malco. Got any strength left?
Not enough to swing a sword, but to say a few last words? Sure.
Too bad. No one will get to hear them. I never thought I'd actually die on this mission. Not that I'm afraid to die. It's just... hard. Thinking about my mom's face when she hears the news.
Guess I have something to be thankful for then. My parents died a long time ago. They won't have to mourn me. Pisak! Always had to beat me at everything, didn't you? Right to the end, you were never one for goodbyes. Maybe you're right. Maybe no one will get to hear our last words. But just in case... Vichama, I'm so glad you didn't come with us. Don't be sad. Just keep on living. For the both of us.
Was that a memory?
Oh, Bichette!
Seems like we were able to salvage something after all.
Waouh! Le gars, il a réussi à préserver ça pendant 5 ans pour pouvoir le donner à son pote. Enfin, à son pote. Son pote. OMG. Vous sentez mieux?
Of course. Seeing him, hearing his voice again, it makes me unbelievably happy. But it also brings with it an even deeper pain.
A deeper pain? Why?
Parce qu'il est vraiment mort.
Malco was always the type to put on a brave face. But in that memory just now, His hands were shaking, and his smile was forced.
Il savait qu'il allait mourir, donc logique, ouais.
For all these years, I regretted not being able to fight alongside him to the end. And now I know, at the end of his life, he was thinking the same thing.
Vichama.
I'm fine. Actually, I heard Chief Wyna wasn't really on board with your plan to go to the Night Kingdom. When you asked for my help, I hesitated too. I knew helping you find your friend's ancient name meant leading you one step closer to danger. But I also understood why you had to try. Everyone has regrets in life, but not everyone gets the chance to make up for them. Once allowed to fester, guilt strips us of our most valuable qualities as warriors. In that sense, we might as well choose the braver path from the very beginning.
Eh ben, ils en disent des belles choses, hein. Et je sais pas ce qu'ils ont pris, là, mais là, c'est sous mes robus, là. La philo, le retour, hein. Là, il en a enchaîné 2, hein. Franchement, tout le monde a des regrets, peu de gens ont l'occasion de se rattraper. C'est vrai, ça. La culpabilité nous prive de nos meilleures qualités. Dans ce cas, autant choisir le chemin qui demande le plus de courage dès le départ. Oh, la philo! J'adore!
If I could do it all over again, I would have followed Malco to the front lines no matter what. Even with an injured leg, there were still things I could have done.
Je suis plus en auto.
That way, even if the outcome stayed the same, I still would have fought alongside him to the end. There are critical junctures in life, and if you don't seize the chance to act, there's no going back. That's something I had to learn in hindsight, but you're still at the crossroads of your journey, so I hope you can walk away without regrets.
Thank you, Vichama. I feel even more determined now. Kachina will come back to us. I'll make sure of it. I promised I would find her, and I intend to keep that promise.
That's good to hear. Strange. My body, it's...
Once abyssal corrosion enters the body, a portion will fuse itself to your internal organs. Even though the Traveler possesses powers of purification, the corrosion can never be fully eradicated. Thanks to her, though, you were only briefly exposed. Slowing your breathing and controlling your emotions should help you keep the symptoms in check.
That does make me feel better. You seem very knowledgeable about all this.
Just speaking from experience, that's all.
Anyway, we've recovered Kachina's ancient name, so we're off to a great start. Let's get Vichama back to his tribe and tell Wyna the good news. Oh, and apologize for destroying the Spirit Speaker Stone. We had no choice, though, so he'll probably understand.
C'est vrai qu'on l'a détruite, ouais.
Right?
On risque de se faire un peu d'aronnette, mais bon. C'était pas notre faute. Ah, free to play le jeu, hein. Free to play, mais waouh! Il y en a des choses. Après, bon, free to play, mais ils en ont des sous, hein.
Koichi, are you really gonna just stand there like that? I don't know what you want from me.
I think you know exactly what I'm trying to say, Uncle Wyna. I can hear it in your voice.
Honestly, it's just one thing after another with you two. They're back.
Koichi? What are you doing here?
Don't play dumb with your own sister. You know exactly why I'm here. My apologies, everyone. I just need to borrow Chaska for a few minutes. You come with me.
I'll be just a moment.
Ok. Elle aussi, elle va se faire d'aronnette?
Koichi, Chaska's younger sister. Although the two aren't actually related by blood, it's kind of a long story.
Ok, oui, elle a dit que c'était sa sœur, ouais.
It's not really my story to tell, but I guess it's not a secret. You see, Chaska was actually raised by cuckoo sores. She was afflicted with a rare disease when she was a child, and abandoned in the wild as a result. The Abyss found her out there, all on her own, and tried to devour her. But in the end, all that did was trigger her will to live. That strength of will pushed her to survive. But it also planted a seed of conflict within her.
Merci
Eventually,
Sanka pour le
she was
raid.
adopted by the
Merci
Cuckoo Source.
beaucoup.
Wherever
J'espère
they
que ton
went,
stream s'est
she
bien
followed,
passé.
getting into fights right and left.
Bonsoir. J'espère que ça s'est bien passé de ton côté. Tu me répondras sur Discord quand t'as le temps. J'ai trop envie de jouer avec toi. Oui. Ouais, exactement. Ben voilà. Faut que je te réponde sur Discord. Exceptionnel. Trop envie de jouer avec toi cette semaine. J'essaye de me lever tôt, mais bon, ouais. Et ce matin, je me suis levée à 10h, c'est exceptionnel. Hein. Pour moi qui me lève à... pas, c'est la première journée où je me suis levée avant 16h depuis un moment. En ce moment, mon rythme est absolument tragique. Ouais, effectivement. Du coup, bonsoir, enchanté, on est sur Genshin pour ce stream-là. Je stream... je suis multigaming sur cette chaîne. En ce moment, on fait principalement du Genshin, on a un podcast le jeudi soir. Et sinon, je fais de temps en temps des petits jeux à droite à gauche. Et sinon, je suis une très grande joueuse de WoW. Mais j'en stream plus sur cette chaîne parce que ce jeu, si on connaît pas le jeu, c'est vraiment instreamable. Enfin, c'est irregardable pour les pauvres personnes de ma communauté qui ne connaissent pas le jeu. Forcément. Du coup, ouais. Voilà. Ça se passe, hein, on est quasiment à la fin. Il me reste 4 chapitres et j'ai catch-up toute l'histoire. Du coup, on les fait tranquillement parce qu'après, je vais devoir attendre le patch, comme tout le monde. C'est tous les, j'imagine, 3 mois qu'ils ont la suite de l'histoire. Pour l'instant, je fais vraiment tout à la suite depuis des mois et des mois. Donc j'avoue, attendre 3 mois à chaque fois pour la suite, ça va commencer à être douloureux, mais on n'y est pas encore. Voilà. Avez-vous entendu parler de World of Warcraft? J'en parle beaucoup, ouais. J'en stream plus sur cette chaîne, mais j'en parle beaucoup. D'à côté, bon, c'est mon main jeu, donc forcément... 2 mois entre les quêtes, ouais. Y a le temps d'oublier, c'est ça le problème. C'est une fois que tu termines et que tu dois attendre 2 mois, il faut des récaps, parce qu'au bout d'un moment, moi je vais tout oublier. Déjà qu'au bout de 3 jours, j'ai tout oublié, alors 2 mois, bon. Mais du coup, ouais... Et Genshin, c'est un jeu, même s'il est free-to-play, enfin, c'est assez hallucinant qu'il soit free-to-play en sachant le cinéma que c'est, genre vraiment le lore est insane, ça va très très loin. Du coup, il y a souvent des rappels par contre, ouais. 43 jours environ chaque mage. Eh ben. Mais ouais. Du coup, c'est... Les quêtes principales, c'est littéralement des films à chaque fois. C'est des films de 3 heures. Parce que, bon, il y a du gameplay entre, mais... Sur 3 heures de quêtes, il y a peut-être à tout péter 15 minutes de gameplay. Bon, j'exagère. Mais pas tant que ça, hein, en vrai. Pas tant que ça. Ça dépend en fait. Au début, c'est une quête toutes les 2 semaines. Et après, ça peut être 6 mois avant la suite de la quête principale. 6 mois! Bon, après, ça se comprend. Il faut qu'ils les écrivent. Hein. Faut qu'ils... Ah non, 6 semaines. Ok, je me disais 6 mois, c'est énorme! Même WoW, ils font pas des pages de 6 mois. Et encore, ils commencent... Ouais, non, il y en a quelques-uns, mais quand ils sont très longs. Mais 6 mois, c'est énorme! Énorme. Ok, du coup, sa sœur n'est pas sa sœur parce qu'elle a été adoptée, parce qu'elle, elle a grandi dans la nature. Très bien. C'est ce qu'il disait, ouais.
For some reason, Paimon can totally imagine that.
Well, when Chaska finally returned to human society, it was Koichi's parents who adopted her. At the time, Chaska still had a habit of getting into fights, so Koichi was always taking her around, apologizing to everyone.
Ah, I remember those days. One of those fights was definitely with me. But, you know, kids. You're fighting 1 minute and your friend's the next. Eventually, she found a way to rein in that desire to fight. And now she's who people call to resolve conflicts. She's known as the Peacemaker. It sounds like she still argues with Koichi, though. Don't siblings usually stop fighting when they get older?
Voilà. Bah non. Enfin, ça dépend des frères et sœurs, mais non.
Koichi asked me to stop Chaska from doing anything dangerous, but you probably know by now, once Chaska makes up her mind, there's no changing it.
Oh, I get it. No wonder you tried to talk us out of going to the Night Kingdom. Chaska even said that wasn't like you.
I'm all for your adventure. You need to take risks when you're young. Because by the time you're my age, you couldn't attempt something like that even if you wanted
Oh,
to.
ça va, hein,
Better try now
l'âge.
than live with regrets later.
Mais
That's what I
non,
say.
ça je suis pas d'accord.
Still,
On peut se lancer
I
n'importe
understand
quand.
where Koichi's coming from.
On
In the
s'en
end,
fout.
nobody wants to sit back and let a loved one put their life on the line.
All right, it's just the two of us now. You have 1 minute to explain yourself.
I don't have anything to say. You don't have to approve, but you should know I only do what's necessary.
That attitude is exactly the problem. It's like you don't care. You try to sneak off to the Night Kingdom behind my back and then play it down as if it's just a trip abroad.
Well, technically I am going abroad, right?
Again with the excuses!
Pas mal.
We agreed, didn't we? There are 4 levels of danger. If it's not something urgent, you can only engage in level 2 danger and below. You can only go up to level 3 if a situation is so dire there's absolutely no alternative. But a trip to the Night Kingdom? If that's not a level 4, I don't know what is. And you were just going to sneak into the place without saying anything.
Elle se fait daronner par sa
Sneak
petite
into the
sœur.
place. I always planned on walking in there with my head held high.
You bought off Uncle Wina, didn't you? He promised me he'd stop you from doing anything dangerous. Oh, it's like he didn't even try.
You feel like he went back on his word. What if I told you my mind was made up, and there was nothing he could have done? Not even by force.
Oh, I knew it! So he did try to say something, but you didn't listen.
This is important. If you were in my shoes, you'd make the same decision.
You don't know that? I'm a doctor, and I handle logistics. If you're going to waltz into a dangerous situation where you could lose control at any moment, it's my duty to say something.
Mais ça suffit de crier.
Right, whatever. Anything else?
You... What do you mean, anything else? Why don't you reflect on what you've done and promise me you'll stay put?
Time out. Is this
La VA, elle
one
donne
of our
tout, ouais.
normal arguments or a serious one?
Chaska, does it sound like I'm joking?
Then... you need to know something. What happened to Kachina was partially my fault. I can't leave her there to die. That's not who I am.
But the person you become when you lose control, that's also not who you are.
Mais on s'en fout.
That's a different issue. You said it yourself. A person is only as good as their morals. If I want to live in Natlan, I need to display qualities that make me worthy of this nation.
I've also told you that managing your condition is equally important.
Sometimes you have to make sacrifices. All right, let's stop this here. If we keep going, I might actually have to get serious. And I think Wina prefers his roof attached to his house.
Is that a threat? That sounds like a threat to me.
Koichi! Younger sisters are supposed to listen to their elders.
Ah, genre, elle se fait avoir
So,
par cette ligne.
You're really going to go.
Vraiment, elle se
matter
fait avoir
what I
par...
say.
T'es plus jeune que moi.
I'm supposed to be your sister.
Then support me. I'll be back. All you have to do is wait.
Chaska.
Il aura fallu juste ça.
So-
D'accord.
That's it. Why'd you have to turn out to be so darn annoying?
You two are something else.
Something you wanted to say?
I know you aren't related by blood, but you two sure are similar.
Really?
You know, I said that very thing to Koichi not too long ago, and she reacted the exact same way, down to the very tone of voice. It's not
Ça,
my
c'est
place to
normal.
get involved, but I will say this. Try to spend a little more time with your sister. You're tough kids. That doesn't mean you have to go it alone.
Thank you.
Anytime. All right. If you're done with the Spirit Speaker Stone, you might as well hand it over.
Alors,
According to
justement...
Kinich, it's an important ceremonial artifact, so it'd be safer to keep it with me.
About that.
Ouais.
If only Tone-Deaf Bard was here, he could have repaired it just like the Holy Liar.
Oui, Venti, bien sûr, ouais. Venti mentioned 10 000 ans plus tard. Vous expliquez la tournure des événements à Wayne.
I see. Sounds like it was an urgent situation. If someone's life was on the line, then you had no choice. Still, Citlali's going to be a nightmare to deal with now that you've broken her stuff. I'll explain everything to her later. Stay safe out there in the Night Kingdom, okay? I'll wait here for your safe return.
Ok, on se fait pas engueuler. Par contre, la fameuse Citlali, là, on faudra pas la croiser tout de suite. Ok, on peut ramener le nom de Kachina à notre magnifique, exceptionnel Maverick. Magnifique, exceptionnel. On est parti. La caméra, ouais, la caméra, elle en peut plus. Hein. Faut que je rachète un câble. Déjà, aujourd'hui, je suis allée chercher mon passeport. Alors imagine si en plus j'avais acheté un câble. Non, mais alors là...
We're back! We found Kachina's ancient name, too!
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé au stade?
Well, it's fairly complicated. Let me give you the condensed version.
Ouais, il y a le chef des Fatui, tout ça, machin, il est venu, machin, le capitaine, elle a sacrifié son pouvoir, tout ça, ouais.
We can't go anywhere without them causing trouble.
Chaque chose en son temps. Déjà le passeport. Après le câble.
Won't they try to take advantage of the situation?
That's why it has to be our little secret. No one else can know, or we're asking for trouble.
Oui, madame. Tout ce que vous voulez. Bien sûr.
Look, I wish I could offer you some sort of consolation, but I won't lie to you. With multiple factions closing in, there's nothing comforting about the situation we're facing. Still, all you need to do is focus on your goal. You can leave the complicated matters to me.
I can also step in on the Pyro Archon's behalf. There's a limit to what I can accomplish, but I'll help you however I can.
There's no need to be so modest, Yan-san. Your incredible strength has long been a well-known fact.
Je veux dire, avec tout le respect. Parce qu'il est là depuis un moment, mais...
I'm sorry about before. You have so much on your plate. So much that you have to worry about. But all I could do was focus on my own feelings.
Pardon.
You have nothing to be sorry about. We all get overwhelmed by our emotions, myself included. Your reaction to Kachina's disappearance, I understand that feeling very well.
Elle est suffisamment stylée pour être jouable, mais... Ah ok, elle arrive demain.
Let's go track her down.
D'accord. Parce que ouais, elle est là depuis le début, mais... Pour l'instant, elle n'a pas un rôle giga important, on va dire, quoi.
What is this place? Hey, isn't that Atea's talisman?
Good eye. This is where I store all the various mementos I've collected.
Pas mal. Imagine être tellement prestigieuse que tu as une pièce entière pour les souvenirs que tu obtiens. Franchement, sympa. Sympa. D'ailleurs, bon, les objets sont pas très bien placés, mais j'apprécie les goûts de Mavuika et juste la symétrie de l'architecture. On n'en parle pas assez, mais c'est vrai que, franchement, c'est plutôt bien fait. Juste les objets sont pas... C'est normal, c'est pas symétrique, mais... En vrai, vous l'aviez vu. Après, les objets sont mal placés, même les bannières et tout, mais... Là, le vitrail, juste là, tout est circulaire, tout est beau, tout est bien fait, bref.
Wow. I've never seen this place before. There's so many things in here.
It looks like there are items from every tribe. Collecting
Moi,
them
je suis sûre
must
que
have
ça vous
taken
avait
a lot of
manqué.
effort.
I suppose you could think of it as a hobby of sorts. In Natlan, everyone grows up listening to the stories of heroes. And physical items do a far better job of preserving those stories than our own memory. Now, I still have some preparations to make for the ceremony, so feel free to take a look around in the meantime. If you're curious about an item, I'm more than willing to tell you about its origins.
Alright, we'll have a look.
Mais quel est le rapport? Examiner les souvenirs de la pièce. Mais quel est le rapport? Pourquoi est-ce que... Non mais ok. Ah stylé ça, Sérieux? Tu m'as cité pour la photographie, pour le brevet? Mais dans quel contexte? Exceptionnel. Ça fait plaisir en vrai. Janssen pour Mavica, c'est un peu Lisa pour Jean. Ok, je situe, ouais. Son bras droit... vite fait. Je vois, ouais. Faut que je m'achète une boîte spéciale pour les objets souvenirs. Ouais, il faut faire ça. Il faut... Enfin, si vous aimez bien les souvenirs, c'est bien de les stocker genre dans des classeurs, dans des boîtes et tout. Moi, j'avoue, j'aime bien faire ça. Bon, j'en ai pas une pièce entière parce que je ne suis pas une déesse extrême, mais c'est stylé. Attends, mais observez. Comment ça, équipement de pêche? Talisman. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a d'autre? Une jarre. Ou une ceinture. Ok, j'imagine qu'il y a des trucs de partout. Équipement de pêche.
Hey, there's
Ça me rappelle quand je suis allée pêcher avec savoir.
That's right. It belongs to a legendary fisherman named Matavaru. I have his entire set of fishing equipment, actually. He and I met in a tavern. He told me about a particular kind of giant fish and his meticulous plan to catch it. In his eyes, I saw a hunger and a strong fighting spirit. To him, the sea was the battlefield upon which he staked his honor.
So, did he do it?
Oui, bien sûr.
The next time I saw him, he was covered in scars. It turned out the fish he sought had been corroded by the abyss. He managed to kill the fish, but sustained a serious injury in the process, which meant he could never go deep-sea fishing again. Can a fisherman claim victory if he fails to bring back his catch? That's what he asked me in the end.
Well, Paimon thinks he won.
That was my answer as well. The experience was far more valuable than the prize itself. In the end, he didn't want his tools to go to waste, so he gave them to me.
Wait, that means you also know how to fish.
Maybe we can go head-to-head sometime.
Oui, bon, pas pendant que c'est la fin du monde, mais si ça t'amuse. Pourquoi pas? Non mais c'est... Tout est de la philo, là. Je sais pas ce qu'ils ont, hein. Ils ont voulu faire l'axe de philo.
Talisman.
I'm sure you're familiar with this one already. Atea was rarely ever without it. The talisman brought her a lot of luck in battle.
Ok. Je m'attendais à plus, mais d'accord. Je m'attendais à une petite anecdote, c'est qui pour elle, etc. Mais d'accord. Alors que la jarre, finalement...
There are so many jars and potions around here. Do they have anything to do with alchemy?
No, those belong to the masters of the Nightwind. They're ceremonial tools used to amplify the ability to communicate with the Night Kingdom and the Wyab.
J'ai toujours du mal à comprendre ce qu'on fait là.
Yamaya is an expert in this field, and she taught me a lot. Even though she appears stoic and serious, she actually has a keen sense of humor. The tools you see here are quite traditional. Her students found them outdated, so she passed them on to me. The contents of the jars aren't all that special. Oh, except the big jar in the middle. That's what she really wanted to give me.
C'est celle-là plus conséquente que ton avenir, also.
Ooh, must be something really cool. What's inside?
Du vin.
Grape juice.
Ah, presque. J'étais pas loin.
It's quite tasty, although probably expired by now.
Ah, t'inquiète, ça devient du... Enfin bref. Ah, le pré-shot. Le pré-shot. Imagine une énorme jarre avec juste du vin dedans. Ah là. Ceinture. Fallait que je parle à Mavica, j'ai pas vu. Il est vrai. Ouais, c'est Peggy 12, c'est Peggy 12. Sinon ce serait du vin, ouais.
This belt is a symbol of great honor within the tribe. The association with strength might also have been the reason the original belt was extremely heavy. It was difficult for even two people to lift. And even if a warrior had the strength to put it on, wearing it for any length of time would still leave them gasping for breath.
Sounds like it.
So the owner of the original belt, Kitera, commissioned a craftsman to make a copy identical in appearance but far lighter in weight. That is the belt you see before you. He would often wear this version when training in order to protect his waist.
Or he made a lighter version so he could wear it all the time and show it off.
Possible. Ok. Pourquoi pas? Tu as des souvenirs. C'est très bien, Mavica.
The powder still needs some time to settle. So let's wait a little longer. Well, what do you think of my collection? Do you feel like you have a better understanding of Natlan's culture now?
Yeah!
Ouais.
If each item represents a different story, seems like Natlan's really been through a lot.
Logique.
Does every item hold a special memory, just like Atea's talisman?
That's right. The items in my collection actually serve a similar purpose to the ancient names passed down among the tribes. They demonstrate the true shape of time.
The shape of time?
Most people perceive time as a linear concept, almost like a straight line that can only move forward. We cannot change the past or predict the future. But there's also a different theory, one that I believe to be closer to the truth. Namely, that the past, present, and future all exist at once.
Ouais.
Once? Paimon's not
Non, mais
sure
là, c'est un
he
cours de philo, là.
understands.
Là, ça part loin.
Let's say your journey ended right now. Thinking back on your experience in each nation, which one would you say was the most important?
Ah, on n'a pas le droit de choisir. L'illusion du choix de Genshin. Toutes.
Exactly.
Ouais.
Even at the end of your journey, the things you experienced along the way don't cease to exist. They become part of who you are.
C'est
Take out a
vrai.
portion of that journey, and you would likely make very different
C'est vrai.
decisions, and eventually arrive at a very different destination.
Elle a
The
pas tort.
future is the same way. It exists even though it has yet to come to pass. We just lack the means to perceive it. Of course, there are those with the power to foresee the future. They simply call it by a different name. Fate. You're quite familiar with that concept, I would imagine.
That does kinda make sense.
Ouais, en soi, elle a
The
pas
future
tort.
hasn't happened,
C'est vrai.
but
C'est une bonne
already
façon de voir les choses.
exists.
Humanity excels at living in the present, but too often we forget the past and neglect the future.
Ah, mais dis-moi en plus, Mavica, dis-moi en plus, n'arrête jamais. Les noms sont donc là pour documenter le
While the
passé.
pilgrimage and the Night Warden Wars lead us to a better future. Only by uniting the people of Natlan across countless eras can we fight back against an enemy as formidable as the Abyss. To come up with such a set of rules, the first Pyro Archon must have possessed a level of insight I can only imagine.
C'est du coup le premier qui a établi les règles de
That's
Natlan.
correct. At first, he was a mortal man with no special power. After he ascended to the divine throne, he used it to borrow power from the heavens and establish the rules of Natlan. Namely, a framework through which ordinary people can ascend to Archonhood. By holding the pilgrimage, we're able to determine the strongest among us. And when that person ascends
Faut
to
que
the
j'allume la
divine
lumière.
throne,
Ça vient de me
their
faire un
inner
flash là,
flame
le
will
feu.
awaken. In addition, the sacred flame will grant them significant knowledge and memory of this land. After all, that's how I came to know everything I just told you.
So, it all comes down to the power of the divine throne and the rules. Wait, is that a family portrait?
Yes, that's my mother, father, younger sister, and the little saurians we raised. I turned a piece of my dad's leather armor into a canvas and commissioned a famous artist to paint our likeness.
Your sister is so cute! It looks like the two of you are really close. Paimon was having a hard time thinking of an Archon as an ordinary person, but seeing this portrait, it kind of makes sense now.
C'est vrai que pour moi c'est une divinité, hein. Tu peux pas la voir comme une personne normale. Hein.
Oh, wait, is Paimon allowed to say that?
A little late for that question, don't you think?
Sorry, Paimon's so sorry. Paimon's mouth works faster than her brain sometimes.
Attends, elle a vraiment dit ça avec tout le respect, vous aviez l'air vraiment banal. Bizarre un peu l'ambiance. Comment ça tu skippes pas? Mais qui skip à part les dégénérés mentaux? No offense. Tu joues à un jeu, il y a littéralement, je sais pas, 400 heures d'histoire. Tu passes ta vie à faire clic gauche. Avec tout le respect, faut être un dégénéré mental. Tout le monde. Non frérot, personne. Personne fait ça. Ou alors t'as genre 12 ans, avec tout le respect. Je vais allumer la lumière. Mais les gens ils sont chelous. Non mais il faut vraiment être un dégène. Imaginez, genre littéralement là, cette quête là, les quêtes d'Archon, c'est 4 heures de quête. Dans les 4 heures de quête, t'as vraiment à tout péter 15 minutes de gameplay. Donc ça veut dire que tu passes 1 heure à faire clic gauche. Mais dans ce cas-là, là, ne fais pas les quêtes. Quel est l'intérêt? Quel est l'intérêt? Jouer à un jeu pour faire clic gauche, mais allô quoi. Il y a des gens bizarres. Mais je pense que c'est des enfants. C'est les enfants qui font ça. Après, bon, il y a certains jeux où les quêtes, bref. Mais pas Genshin, genre j'y joue littéralement que pour le lore. Il y a d'autres jeux, bon, j'y joue pas pour le lore, donc les quêtes, voilà. Mais Genshin, honnêtement, ok, l'endgame, il est sympa, mais c'est vraiment les histoires qui sont importantes. Je veux dire... Après, t'as pas fait gaffe, je pouvais discuter avec... Ah mince, je sais, j'ai pas vu, non. Mais je sais pas, il me disait fouiller la pièce. Du coup, ouais, il y en a qui jouent pour le casino aussi, mais je veux dire, faut s'attacher au perso pour pouvoir les poules, tu vois. Sinon, quel est l'intérêt, mais... Après, chacun sa vibe. Mais imaginez, genre, la personne qui arrive sur le stream en mode, mais pourquoi tu skippes pas? Imaginez un stream où juste je fais clic gauche. Et c'est mute et juste on attend la fin. Bizarre l'ambiance. Pourrait hein, mais ce serait pas la même vibe hein. Bizarre. Capuchonne, only clic gauche.
No matter what others may say, my past
tu veux gagner du temps, ne joue pas, ouais, totalement, ouais.
I'm forever proud of the
genre, il y a des gens qui n'ont pas entendu la voix de ma VIK, là, ma déesse. Mais écoutez-la.
The position just comes with a lot of responsibilities, so it impacts how often you get to see them.
Je pourrais l'écouter pendant des mois.
Stew, so my sister would often bring me a large pot of his cooking, and he would sit on a blanket and eat it together. One time, we didn't close the door securely, and the Saurians you were raising ran into the room and knocked over the entire pot. My sister immediately burst into tears. The two troublemakers were going for the meat, but when they saw my sister's distress, they froze on the spot. I still remember the way they laid there, sulking like a pair of children, even after making such a mess. It was frustrating, but in the end, all I could do was comfort my sister and move on.
Wow.
Genre là, elle raconte juste une petite histoire de famille à la con et genre, je pourrais l'écouter des heures. Elle a trop une voix apaisante. Elle est exceptionnelle. Ma VIK, juste 10 sur 10. Hein. Vous l'avez pardonné sans rien dire?
Isn't that what being a family is all about?
Quelle femme. Quelle femme.
I think about that story a lot, actually. As the Archon, I made a vow to defend this nation. And experiences like that, they remind me exactly what I'm trying to protect.
Pour le coup,
Well, what happened after that? This portrait looks pretty old. Your sister must be
je
all
pense que c'est
grown
une
up
des
by
meilleures
now,
voix,
right?
très honnêtement, avec celle de Zhongli.
I believe she ended up working as an architect and artist. She built many houses and crafted many beautiful works of art. Anyway, that's enough about me. Now that the powder is settled, we can begin. Ian-san, Mulani, Chaska, over here, please. Place the ancient name up there.
Neuville aussi est
and
pas
then
mal, ouais,
we'll begin.
j'avoue. C'est vrai. Ok. Placez l'antiqueton de Kachina. Donc c'est bon. Voilà. On est en mode marche, on est en mode RP et tout. Ça va être important là. Va-t-elle revivre? Va-t-il y avoir un problème? Bon, normalement c'est bon. On a fait tout ça. Ou alors plot twist.
Surely as the echoes of life resound through heaven and earth, so too shall our stories remain eternal. Ancient name, take us to your fated bearer. Allow her to answer our call.
Oh?
Am I hallucinating again?
Kachina, are you okay?
Ah, mais elle est pas vraiment là.
Huh? I'm not seeing things, am I? Is the Abyss playing tricks on me again?
Oh, bichette.
It's okay, Kachina. It's just us. We're trying to find a way to bring you back.
Everyone, you have to listen to me.
Oui.
I've been investigating the Night Kingdom this entire time, and I figured out what's wrong. The Wyab is being affected by the Abyss. I was waiting for the Wyab to send me back, but then this really strong monster came in and it almost killed me.
Et?
The Wyab saved me, even though its power is weakening, so I've been hiding from the monsters while trying to find a way to help. The Night Kingdom has become a huge mess, though. I keep hearing these awful sounds and seeing really horrible things.
Oh, bichette. Elle a 8 ans, on rappelle, hein.
Don't listen to those sounds, Kachina. The
Elle a
Abyss is
rien à
trying
faire
to
là.
strip you of your sanity. All you need to do is stay safe and wait for us. We'll be there shortly.
It's okay. I feel so much better now that I've had the chance to talk to you guys. You don't need to worry about me.
Mais quand même, si, un peu, quoi.
I've never been strong or special at all, really. So I don't blame anyone for forgetting about me or leaving me behind.
Oh, bichette, c'est vraiment un mood, hein. Mon univers pour Kachina.
Find a way back. You don't have to put yourselves in danger to come rescue me.
You're always like this, Kachina. Now's not the time to act tough. We're coming for you, and that's final. I don't know what lies the Abyss has been feeding you, but I'll tell you something right now. Nobody here sees you as a burden. You're a victor of the Night Warden Wars, a hero of Natlan. All you need to do is wait for us to rescue you, and you'll get all the applause and recognition you deserve.
Oh, bichette.
I'm really scared. Everything's so dark and creepy here. And I want to go home.
Mais du coup, ça sert à quoi ce qu'on est en train de faire? Elle est
I
où?
want you to put yourselves in danger because of me. I don't want to hold anyone back ever again.
All you need to do is place your trust in us, just like you always have. No one fights alone. We're not leaving you behind. Not ever.
Yeah, we're so close. We can't call it quits now. Thank you.
Ah.
Be careful.
Mais elle nous a rien dit. On sait pas où elle
Looks
est.
like we've lost contact. Now comes the most dangerous part. You have to traverse the Night Kingdom in your physical form.
Oui, oh, personne nous a
This
encore
entrance to
expliqué
the Night
comment.
Kingdom was left behind after an abyssal invasion. Even a brief amount of time inside could expose you to corrosion.
Super.
I know. I'm prepared for that
Non,
possibility.
toi t'y vas pas. Non.
All right.
C'est moi.
Then I wish you all the best. I'll tell Koichi to be ready just in case. She's very experienced in dealing with abyssal corruption. That
On y va
face you
tous, là?
just made. Don't tell me you two got into another argument.
No, I just Feel bad for creating more work for her.
I'll go with them too, Archon. The more people, the stronger the party.
Thank you so much for your help, everyone. It really means a lot that you're willing to brave these dangers with me. And there's no time to lose, so let's get going.
Now that I've lost my power, I won't be able to provide much practical support. But I can still keep an eye on the situation from here. Eon-san, I know it's unlikely, but if you encounter a situation you can't handle...
That won't happen.
Super.
I hope not.
J'ai rien compris. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Entrer dans les ruines souterraines. Comment ça, les ruines souterraines? D'accord. Parce que dans ma tête, c'est pas un endroit... C'est pas palpable comme endroit. Genre, c'est l'enfer, le paradis, tout ça. Enfin, c'est juste des ruines. J'ai rien compris. On va voir, hein. Moi, je pensais que tout ça, c'était pour la raise. Et en fait, non, c'était juste pour établir un contact avec elle. Sauf que, comme toujours dans ce genre de choses, on établit contact avec elle. Et on lui pose aucune question pertinente. Après, bon, elle nous a dit un truc quand même. Elle a dit que quelqu'un était corrompu. J'ai oublié qui c'était, mais... Vestige de la source. Ah, ok. Le seul chemin vers le fief nocturne, autrefois foyer des anciens dragons, aujourd'hui réduit en ruine. Influencé par l'abîme, l'endroit recèle de nombreux dangers imprévus. Fort bien. La Wayob, ouais, la fameuse. J'ai oublié qui c'était, mais... Mais oui, oui, bien sûr, ouais. Ouais, ouais. Celle-là, ouais. C'est un lieu entre la vie et la mort. Ouais, c'est ça, c'est un espèce de purgatoire. Mais du coup, comment... Pourquoi est-ce qu'on peut y accéder par des ruines? Oh, c'est sympa, hein.